The moment this envelope arrives, a legal clock starts ticking. You've been served with a civil summons. Your heart rate spikes. Your immediate instinct might be to shove the paperwork into a drawer, hoping the problem will somehow resolve itself. This is a civil lawsuit, which operates under very different rules than a criminal prosecution. You aren't facing jail time, but the stakes are physical. Your bank accounts, your property, and your business are now targets of a legal claim. Because this is a civil matter, the Sixth Amendment right to a free public defender does not apply. If you want an attorney to defend your assets, the responsibility to hire and pay for one is yours alone. The arrival of this document starts a strict procedural countdown. Choosing to ignore it is a high-stakes gamble that effectively hands the legal advantage to the party suing you. To stop the clock, you have to understand the specific components of the physical document. While the legal terminology is dense, it provides the roadmap for your next steps. Look at the top of the page. This header establishes the specific court jurisdiction where your case is filed. Right below that, you will find the parties involved. The plaintiff is the private individual or business entity bringing the lawsuit against you, the defendant. Next, look for the case number and the complaint. The complaint is the core of the lawsuit. It lists exactly what the plaintiff claims you did, and specifies the monetary damages or actions they are demanding from you. Responding to this demand requires a specific protocol. Calling the plaintiff to argue or sending an angry email to their lawyer carries no weight in the system. You must submit a formal, written filing entered directly into the official court record. Understanding these details allows you to lock in your deadline. Submitting that document is the only way to stop the plaintiff's version of events from becoming the undisputed legal truth. If that procedural clock hits zero and you haven't filed a formal response, the court moves forward without you. The judge will likely issue a default judgment. Because you didn't show up to contest it, the court can automatically grant the plaintiff exactly what they asked for. That gives them the legal authority to garnish your wages or levy your bank accounts without you ever being heard. This diagram compares the burden of proof in our two legal systems. In a criminal trial, the government must prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, roughly a 99% certainty. But in civil litigation, the standard is a preponderance of the evidence. The plaintiff only needs to prove there is a greater than 50% chance that you are liable. This lower threshold produces entirely different outcomes. O.J. Simpson was famously acquitted in his criminal trial, where the burden of proof was highest. Yet a civil jury later found him liable for wrongful death, because the plaintiffs only had to cross that 51. The state won't provide you with a lawyer, but you can hire private counsel or seek out civil legal aid clinics in your area for guidance. Step 6. File your correct, formatted response directly with the court clerk before the deadline expires, and get a stamped receipt to prove you beat the clock. Finally, Step 7. Attend all scheduled hearings. Completing these steps stops the default judgment. You shift the burden of proof back onto the plaintiff, forcing them to actually earn their judgment in a court of law. If you missed your deadline, panicked, and are already facing the consequences of a default judgment, you have one final option. You can file a motion to vacate. This is a highly time-sensitive legal request, asking the judge to set aside the default judgment and reopen your case. Judges do not grant these lightly. You have to prove a strict legal standard, like excusable neglect, showing you had a severe emergency that prevented your response. Or you must demonstrate that the initial delivery of the summons was legally invalid. The civil justice system does not protect passive participants. A summons is a direct demand for engagement. Taking proactive steps to answer that demand is your only effective shield.